Hi everybody, just got some new gear for work, and I was going to show it to you and compare it to my old gear, and mainly because I couldn't get a lot of specifics about a lot of it. It took me a long time to research the stuff that I have now. Some of the stuff I'm going to show you is just through trial and error, what led to my decisions to purchase this stuff that I have now. But I figured it would be a good thing to put out there just for anyone else that's looking for some specifics about this particular type of stuff. Now, first I want to talk about gloves and cable guys, us guys doing line work and anything in the air or on the ground. We tend to have to be articulate once we get to that location. So I wanted to go through the gloves that I've tried in the past and the gloves that I've recently have gotten and tried out, and just to show you the difference and exactly what us cable guys are looking for. These are standard work gloves, you know. I only use stuff like this for if I gotta dig with a, I'll use a pickaxe or a shovel, stuff like that, because they're cheap. Doesn't that's about all they're good for. So I do use those. I keep a pack of them. But what I don't like about them, man, is they're all the same height. The pinky, I've got like all this space in the pinky. So that's the articulation I'm talking about. They're not good for a whole lot of cable specific stuff. So these are PVC dipped gloves, and these are good for wet days. If you got a nylon rope on your ladder, or any rope, I guess, if you use a ladder a lot, these are good. But you see what it does, it just destroys them, man. So again, specific stuff to cable. I mean, yeah, they're great gloves, but we just wear them out. Okay, these are Carhartts. These I had high hopes for when I bought them. And they're kind of muddy. You can't really tell the wear on them, but it's brutal. Okay, this stuff, this is coming off. You see this one's got a hole in it. Oh, see, and I've climbed in these, which is no doubt done this, a lot of this stuff, that's coming apart. I don't know if you can see, but it's coming apart there. These have been good, but they didn't quite last like I thought they were, being Carhartt. Yeah, and that might be my fault, because they're not they're probably just work gloves, not necessarily lineman's gloves. So that brings me to these, the Kuhns. These are your typical gauntlet climbing lineman glove, the lineman glove, if you will. And again, you'll notice these are comfortable, but man, they're huge, man. You gotta kind of I find myself taking them off when I have to do stuff. Once I get up the pole, and then find a place to put them, then putting them back on to climb down. But these are awesome. But that brings me to the Youngstown. These are what I just got here, the Youngstown, and these were marketed as the ultimate utility glove, and not so much for the stitching, but you can see the gauntlet, and this stuff is a asphalt reinforcement. What they're saying, and I don't know if you can tell, but that is going to be in this part, not on the grip itself, because this is supposed to be like a super wet grip thing going on here, this middle part going up to the finger up here. But all this stuff, this stuff on these fingers is all this asphalt reinforcement, and plus the gauntlet, you know. But you can see these are, you can articulate a lot more in these than you can with these big you know, lineman's gloves here. So that and the padded knuckle are kind of a typical thing with the Youngstown, apparently. And the thumb has a terry cloth thing on it, which that's the only thing that I suspect in it, because the Carhartts kind of have something like that, and right there they kind of came apart, you know, right in there. So other than that, I'm anxious to try them out. And by the way, I'm average build, average size, you know, hands, I guess. And these are the Kuhns are mediums. That's what fits me. And these are also mediums, the Youngstown. Those fit well. I have you're supposed to measure across your knuckles like that. It's about 3.5 inches. So technically, I would be a size 7. And I think you're supposed to add a size or 2 to that, you know, when you order these types of gloves, you know. But the Kuhns, that's the 4.5 gauntlet, and it's just about right for climbing there. You can see where my hands dragged, or it's dragged the pole right there, just about right. Here's the Youngstown, a little bit shorter. I think it's about a 3-inch gauntlet, but there you go. You can really see that wacky stitching they got in there. But you'll notice here that it doesn't come up and over from the bottom up. It just goes down. And you'll notice this comes from the bottom up. See, and it just destroyed them on both of them. You know, so that's what I was looking at on these. So macro, there you go. So yeah, you can really get in there and articulate with these things. You don't have to worry with the a lot of slack in your fingers as well. So I'm anxious to try them out. Now I want to talk about boots, and I've been through a lot of boots, and specifically pole climbers. I'm not going to say who makes these boots, but I just want to show you what happens when I wear loggers. I went through 2 pairs of these, one a year in 2 years. I went through one a year, and then I said no more. You know, so I had to work something out there with these. But same thing happened to both of them. So I'm not going to say who it is, but you can look at that, and you probably can tell who this manufacturer is. So, gonna need pole climbers. Not necessarily the 16s like this, but this is what I learned with. This is what I'm used to, and I feel comfortable wearing these. And I can't stress that enough, that when your ass is hanging off a pole in the air off of, you know, barely half an inch of steel, you're gonna need to feel comfortable and to trust that, and trust your body doing that. So these are Hoffman's pole climbers, and I love them. They came with the claw sole. I've had them resoled once, and this is the Vibram sole, and it still has some life on them. Haven't worn these in a long time because of company I'm with now has bought me boots, you know, and I haven't worn these in a while. The leather, something's happened to, I tried them on, something's happened to the leather. It's kind of, they're a little tight when I put them on. So, but anyways, these Hoffmans actually have a 2 shanks, which they say it kind of lends itself to some maneuverability while still giving you that support on your hooks. So, and I've always liked the tall ones. Just it makes it easier to get gaffs on and off. I've went through a lot of different types of pads, which I'll talk about here in a minute. But I like the 16s, even if you don't wear them on the outside. I still like them because I don't wear mine on the outside much. But Hoffman's, I can't say too many good things about these guys. Hoffman boots. But now I wear Wesco's and the Wesco Highliner, and I went with them just it's time for a new pair of boots. They've been putting me in loggers and I've been tearing them up, and they also offered the mini lug, which doesn't have that big, have the big sole on it, you know, and us guys, you know, we're out in the mud and in and out of people's houses. You have to do sometimes, so I just opted for the mini lug. Easier to wipe off, you know, rather than track insulation from an attic or mud from the outside into a customer's house. But at any rate, I mean, the second I got them, slid my heel into them, it was just heaven, you know. So I can't. Wesco's are gonna cost significantly more than any other boot out there, but you get what you pay for, you know. I haven't had these that long, quite frankly, so I mean, this is kind of a in progress thing, but so far they've been great. I've been through a rainy season and a winter with them, you know, and they haven't leaked because of the stitch down thing they do and anything like that, you know, that the others have, you know, not the Hoffmans, but the others. So yeah, here they are. And these are my Wesco's. And they're the 16-inch Highliners. And I should probably mention the socks as well. I started using Lacrosse wading socks, which are really tall, and they have this part that keeps them up. It still falls down a little bit, but it always stays right here. It doesn't fall down in your boot. And yeah, I know you can pull them over, but that wears on the elastic, you know, of the sock. You wind up replacing them. So I went with these wading socks. Wicks Sweat Away, although you still sweat during the summer down here in the south, but does a good job so far. But these are the clips, the rivets, you know, they wear down just from walking on them and they fall off, you know, but they do come with the clips on the side that protect against fanning out the leather there, but unfortunately they don't really last very long. But yeah, that's the steel plate down there for the hooks banging against the leather, keep it from damaging the leather. It's your typical Highliners.